Leo Ortiz pushed through the cafe's sliding glass door just after sunrise, chasing the aroma of rich beans and something sweeter he could never name. At the counter stood the new barista, violet skin shimmering beneath the neon sign, a shade darker than yesterday, as though night itself clung to her. She caught him staring and raised one wry brow. "Double gravity latte, 3 sugars?" she asked, voice a lilting melody he now craved more than caffeine. Leo managed a grin. "You've memorized my order, Allie." Perk of the job. Her slim fingers danced across the mixer console. Tiny starflecks rippled across her cheeks whenever she smiled. "Perk of being human. You blush only one color." "So you've been studying me," he teased, sliding payment chips across. "Careful. Journalists take notes on everything." Her laugh chimed like wind bells. "I'll risk the exposure." Steam hissed. She placed the cup before him, the foam etched with a perfect constellation of Orion. He lifted it in salute. "Best astronomy lesson I've had before 8 a.m. He almost asked why her eyes seemed to glow brighter today, but a pair of armored figures strode past the window, helmets glittering with unfamiliar sigils. Allie's gaze snapped to them, luminous eyes wide, and the cup trembled in her hand. "Everything okay?" Leo asked. "Fine," she breathed, though her glow faded to a nervous flicker. "Just spilled stardust." After closing, Allie hurried through the alley behind the shop, only to collide with Leo, camera bag slung over his shoulder. He'd returned to ask about a feature on multi-species cultural hubs, but the words stalled when drones whirred overhead, scanning the street with amber beams. Allie grabbed his wrist and yanked him behind a hollow dumpster as light swept across brick. "Stay still," she whispered. "Whoa, okay." His heart hammered. "Those aren't local security." "No." Her grip softened, but she didn't let go. "They're looking for someone who ran away." "You know this someone?" Her violet lips pressed together. "I am this someone." Silence bloomed, broken only by the drone's fading hum. Leo kept his voice low. "You want to explain, or do I run headline? Morning barista actually space fugitive." A tiny, desperate smile crossed her face. "Depends. Would your headline sell more if you helped her instead?" "I'm listening." "They track solitary biosignatures," she said, cheeks pulsing faint rose. "Couples blur the pattern. I need you to act like you're hopelessly in love with me. Publicly. And soon." He blinked. "You're asking a stranger to fake date you?" "I'm asking my favorite customer," she corrected, soft but earnest. "Tomorrow night, there's a royal masquerade orbiting Jupiter, broadcast live to half the sector. If I appear attached, even playfully, they'll ignore me until after the treaty ceremony. By then," she shrugged, "by then I'll have something else planned." "You crashed a royal ball before?" "Never while making coffee." Panic flashed, then resolve. "Please, Leo." Most journalists would trade limbs for proof of a runaway princess. He, however, felt the squeeze of her hand, warm despite its tremor, and wanted only to warm it more. "We'll need rehearsal," he said. Her sigh sounded like relief sung in starlight. The next 24 hours became a whirlwind of lessons in love's illusions. At a riverside bookshop, Allie practiced easing strands of Leo's dark hair from his eyes, the gesture simple until her glowing fingertips brushed his brow and lingered. Outside a noodle stall, they slurped spicy broth from the same bowl. When Leo sputtered at the heat, she laughed until commuters turned. The sight of her joyous glow drew them all into light. Night fell, and they climbed a vacant rooftop. Neon from the skyline painted Ailey's gownless work clothes in shifting hues. Leon set music on his wrist pad, then tried a ballroom step he'd seen only in vintage vids. She stumbled against him. He caught her waist. Their breaths mingled clouds in the chill. "Your pulse," she murmured, palm against his chest, "is thunderous." "Been a wild day," he admitted. I like it. She did not pull away. Lights flickered across the city like distant galaxies, while two strangers learned the gravity of closeness. Back at his apartment, a modest loft bursting with star charts, Allie traced moons on the ceiling map. My mother, she said, wants a treaty sealed through marriage. My marriage. General Kalis commands half the fleet. I'd become a necklace he wears to the council. So you bolted. So I bolted, she echoed, touching Earth's moon on the chart. I promised myself I'd choose love, not politics, if love existed. Leo's throat tightened. Starting to think it does? Allie glanced at him, violet lashes half closed. Starting, she whispered. Their foreheads met. Simple, steady. The room filled with a faint, shared hum, gentler than any electrical note. Jupiter's orbital palace glimmered like 1,000 jeweled wings. Leo stepped from the shuttle in a midnight suit stitched with silver constellations. Allie descended in a nebula swirl gown that matched her eyes, star freckles glittering across shoulders just kissable. He offered an arm. She looped hers through and breathed. Don't look too humanly shocked. At what? She nodded to the crimson carpet. Report drones hovered, hollow mic cables coiling like electric serpents. They entered a ballroom where crystal walls reflected swirling dancers. Hollow host spheres broadcast introductions to billions. And here, one trilled, Princess Elira Vereen of Lumeria, accompanied by Leo Ortiz, he said into plasma bright lights, her chosen heartbeat. Gasps rippled across the hall and through the viewership beyond. Music swelled. Allie and Leo took position. He counted steps. She followed, weightless. In that moment, the galaxy shrank until only her luminous eyes existed. A stern figure stormed across marble. Captain Raylick, armor gleaming obsidian. Your Highness, he barked. The Empress commands your return. Immediately. Ailey's chin lifted. I attend no throne forged without affection. Duty outweighs. Doesn't love create stronger empires? Leo interrupted, voice ringing louder than he knew. Cameras pivoted. What treaty could fail if its builders were free to choose? Raylick's glare could scorch comets. He signaled guards. Allie seized Leo's hand. Run! They sprinted through mirrored corridors. Stun bolts sizzled overhead, shattering chandeliers into kaleidoscope dust. Leo ducked, dragging Allie behind a silver archway. Left tunnel to escape pods, she panted. Lead the way. My map tops out at coffee houses. Down, they raced into a crystal arboretum. Glass doors sealed behind, locking them in moonlit stillness. Giant blossoms emitted soft blue glow. Breathless, Ailey faced him. Pretend time ends here, she whispered. She lifted his hand, pressed it over her dual-beating heart beneath silk. Does your pulse still choose mine when no cameras roll? It never had a choice, he said, voice rough with truth. I think it was yours, the moment you drew Orion in my latte. Tears shimmered on her lashes. She leaned close and pressed her mouth to his. The kiss was gentle at first, a hush of galaxies colliding before dawn. Her skin brightened star-white, light spilling across petals and glass. Somewhere deep inside Leo, stardust ignited, and the shape of forever settled between heartbeats. Hidden hollow cameras embedded in the vines flickered on. Across human cities and Lumerian space lanes, billions watched two silhouettes glowing inside a glass dome, from which love erupted brighter than fleet engines. The palace comms chimed. Empress Seraphine's regal face appeared midair, eyes silvered with tears. Daughter, she said, voice soft yet echoing through the hall outside, through every broadcast channel. Your happiness paints my empire brighter than treaties. Come home, both of you. We will rewrite the covenant together. Allie touched the hologram's edges. On our terms? On love's terms, the Empress vowed. Sunrise the next day gilded meteor mocha in gold. Ale, no, Princess Elira, adjusted the new sign, Cafe Constellation, Terran Lumerian Co-op. Inside, tourists of 10 worlds queued for the famous double-gravity latte. Leo balanced 2 cups, approached her behind the bar, and leaned in. "Ready for your first shift as co-owner?" he asked. "I was born under pressure," she quipped. "Royal training, remember?" She added a flourish of foam art, a pair of intertwined hearts orbiting a star. Hollow screens around the room flashed headlines. Princess's Cafe. Romance ends war talks with kiss heard round the galaxy. Photos of their embrace spiraled above reporter commentary. Leo noticed children pointing, lovers smiling, elders nodding, hope reborn in violet hues. He set the mugs down, drew her fingers to his lips. "From pretend to permanent," he murmured. She squeezed his hand, freckles blazing warm dawn pink. "Permanent," she agreed, and claimed a second kiss, unapologetically public, utterly theirs. Somewhere far beyond Earth's blue sky, starships altered course away from war, treaties were rewritten in softer ink, and inside a small cafe that smelled of roasted moons and sugar, 2 hearts found gravity in one another, proving a single spark, kindled over coffee, could light the cosmos